Good morning, everyone. Good day, good evening. Welcome to Xperiencify 101. We're going to go through the course setup basics today. There is a handout for this training, so I will put it in the chat. Hello, Colleen from the Gold Coast. I'm in Newcastle, just a bit further down from you. So good morning. Okay, let me grab the handout. Oh, that's Facebook. I don't want Facebook. I want. Oh my goodness. What am I doing? Bear with me, guys. Sorry. Okay, here we go. That's not it. Handout. Okay, the handout link will ask you to make a copy of the Google Doc in your Google Drive. So just click on make a copy and you'll have access to that. I think it was in the calendar link as well. So let me know if you have trouble accessing that handout. Or actually, give me a thumbs up if you can access it. That would probably be better. Yeah? Awesome. Got any? Thanks, Sue. Okay. We'll get started here in just a moment. Thanks, Gayleen. Awesome. Okay. So what we're going to do today is run through how to get your course set up really quickly in Xperiencify. Now, we all have a different level of tech savviness. So the pace I'm going to go out for today's training is going to be about medium. Okay, so if I'm going too fast for you, please rest assured that these trainings are always recorded and you can go back and listen to the replay where you can pause on particular points and even rewind and go back over things if they're not exactly clear for you. If I'm going too slowly, there's lots of resources that you can kind of do it yourself in the help center in Xperiencify. So feel free, if you're pretty, tech savvy and confident in using different platforms, you can go ahead and go to either a past replay of this exact training and speed it up and go through it yourself, or you can just access the step-by-step process in the help center to get you set up. Okay. I do actually have a feedback form that I also want to give at the beginning, because I usually leave it right to the last minute if I remember at all, and some people hop off earlier than we finish. So I just wanted to pop it in here so that you can let me know. It's just a really quick form. If what you like about these trainings, what we could do to improve, those sorts of things, so that we can serve you in the best way possible. Okay, so we're going to work through the handout. And in the past, when I've done this training, I've spent quite a bit of time on the first 3 steps. And I think what I would like to do this time is move a little bit quicker through those first steps so that I've got enough time to concentrate on the page builder, which is step 4, which is a really kind of a different dimension for getting your head around if you're not used to using these sorts of platforms. So I'd like to spend a little bit more time on those rather than feeling too rushed. So rest assured that in the handout, there are links to everything that I'm talking through. So you can click on the link to get to the Help Center article that will explain in further detail if you need more time on those first 3 steps. Okay, I'm going to actually create a course with you guys. I'm going to share my screen. I hope I share the right screen. Okay. No, I don't want that one. Oh, we're going to have to see how this goes. Okay, that's the handout. I need to get rid of the chart. I need to, okay, so I'm going to my Xperiencify account. And I actually have some courses already in here, but in order to create a brand new course, I'm going to start from scratch, is you go into this green plus button. And it will just pre-populate a default name there. You can call it whatever you like is appropriate for your course. I'm just going to put my name in front here. Danielle's awesome course. And you'll see that by me changing it here, it changes it up here as well. And the URL for the course, the link for the actual course, can be altered here as well. So it doesn't have to be the same. It can actually be an acronym if you've got a really long. That's for Danielle's awesome course. And click save. So we've got a course name. It by default puts in a little cartoon image. You can upload your own course image that you've created wherever, PowerPoint or Canva. And you've also got the option every time in Xperiencify there is an opportunity to add an image. You can either choose your own image that you've created that is stored on your computer by uploading it, or you can go to the Unsplash feature and choose one of the images. There's search here. So I'm just going to put in happy and see what comes up. That's going to be my course image for right now. A lot of people like to use an image with text on it that basically just says the course name. Here you can change the favicon or site icon, which is the little icon that you see up the top in the tabs on your browser. Okay, so there's a Google one for my Gmail, there's an Xperiencify one, there's a Google Docs one. So by default, we have the Xperiencify one there. You don't need to change it if you don't have a logo or you don't want to, but there is certainly opportunity to do that. And in the handout, I've got the link to the site where you can create the ICO file, which is the file format you need to upload the favicon. It's free and very simple. So if you're not sure how to do that, click on that link and it will walk you through how to convert your logo into an ICO file, and then you can just upload it there for site icon. That means that instead of the Xperiencify icon up here, it will be your logo. Then we've got course description. Keep this nice and punchy, just 1 to 2 sentences. This should really just describe the outcome of the course, what people can expect. And this then turns into like a merge field, or we call it a token, where course description can then be auto-populated into other places like emails or the order form or other sections in your course when you might want to remind people of the outcome that they have signed up for. Okay, and that's all there is to step 1. As I said, I'm moving pretty quickly through this. You can go back to the replay and pause and do this at a slower pace if you need to. Okay, and step 2 is the payment options. Now, we have 2 different ways to set up payments. If you've got a course and it's like a one-time fee for something, you would set up a single payment and possibly installment plans if you want to give people the option, if it's a higher priced item, to pay over a period of time. The subscription option is for memberships where on an ongoing basis, people are paying an amount monthly or annually to have access to the content that you're providing in Xperiencify. You can only have one or the other. So single payment with installment plans, optional, or a subscription. Okay, and it will tell you here in green which one is active in your account for that course. Okay, so by default, there are two options here set up. If you don't want the installment plan, you just click on the little trash icon here on the side and it will disappear. What these do is in the Xperiencify order form, which is where prospects will pay to have access to your course, these will pre-populate. So whatever you put in at this step 2 pre-populates into your order form. You can then customize what language, what label it's given, etc., to be clearer or to sound better. But these are the options that will populate in your order form. And I will show you what an order form looks like in a minute. If you're not in the US or you're not selling in US dollars, there's a link here to account settings, which is where you can change your currency. You've also got the option to add a discount coupon or many discount coupons. You just add in the name of, you just pick a name for a coupon this is the actual name that you are giving. This is like public facing. This is the code that you would give people. So it can be something that makes sense to you, like it could be Mother's Day, or it can be an actual, it can be, sometimes you see coupon codes that are individualized and they're nonsensical and very difficult to predict. So you can do whatever you want for the name, and you can choose whether it's percentage off or a dollars off coupon. And then if you select dollars off, the little feature here will change according to which toggle that you put on here. And you can choose to have the coupon never expire or to expire at a specific date and time. So it can be a time sensitive one, and you can pick an end date on the calendar here. And I think it's in US Pacific time, the time zone that your account is set to is US Pacific time at the moment. We are working on a way to change the time zone of your account so it's specific to wherever you are actually located. And if you do put in a coupon name, click on save, and then they are the actual letters that you would give to people, and they will enter into the coupon, into the order form in order to access that discount, whatever the discount is. I didn't actually set up a discount, did I? So I can say my course was $500, wasn't it? So I'm going to say $499 so that I can actually test out my account later on. I'm going to put in that coupon code and actually buy my own course for $1 just to make sure that everything's set up correctly in my account. The payment processor that we use is Stripe at the moment. We are working on getting PayPal connected up. You go to account section over here on the left, and then you go to advanced, and then connect payment gateways. And here is where you put in the email address that you use for your Stripe account. And then because mine's already connected, it says disconnect, but if you haven't set yours up yet, you put in your email address of the Stripe account you use and click on connect, and then it will take you through another couple of screens in order to confirm that you're the account holder, and it will then connect up so that whenever someone buys your course from our order form, the money will go through Stripe into your bank account. Okay, I'm going to go back to my Danielle's awesome course. So that was step 2. I'm going to check that off. And on to step 3. Step 3 is where we add the actual course content. Now, there's nothing in my course right now because it's brand new. You'll notice that there are 3 sections across the top here, modules and trainings. They're the terms that we use to describe the divisions in a course. So a course is the big container. Then the next container down are modules. You can have just one module if you like, or many modules. And within modules fall the trainings. So that's what I would call the core content, things that are pre-recorded and that's set up in a particular order for you to offer your students. We have a section called replays, which is where you can put replays of live coaching calls, for example, that are not the core content that people move through by themselves. And you can name those by date. You can set them so that they are only available to existing students, which means that if students join the course after those replays have already been loaded, those students, those new students will not have access to the old content. You can set it up like that if you prefer, okay? Some people, some course creators give their students access to the entire vault of content, no matter when they join. But if you prefer to only give people access from the point where they become part of your world, you can set it up so that the replays are only available to existing students. We also, throughout the setup process, this is handy if you're a bit of a do-it-yourselfer. We have little videos, tutorials here that you can click on, which will walk you through similar things to what I'm showing in this tutorial today. Okay, and the third section that we have under course content is bonuses. And this gives you an opportunity to divide up, keep separate anything that you would like to offer as a bonus to your students that's not the core content. For example, if you offer things for certain promotions as get a bonus to certain students, you can keep it on this separate page and release it to them whenever you like. That's not part of the core training in the modules and training section. Okay, so what I'm going to do is add a new module. These 2 buttons here, add a module and add a new module plus, have the same function. I'm just going to call it module 1. And you have the opportunity here to put in a course image, a module image. You may want to use like a thumbnail, like a YouTube thumbnail where it has the name of the module, or it could be an image that represents the topic that you're covering. And again, if you click the plus icon, you get an opportunity to upload from your own computer, or you can use Unsplash to search for free photos. Or, of course, you can use the default images, the little cartoon style ones that we pre-populate for you. So you don't have to worry if you don't have all of that sort of stuff set up already. The module description is just a very short 1-line description of what that topic is, so that you don't have to have the whole kit and caboodle in your module name. Okay, try to keep the module names reasonably short. And then you can go into a bit more detail in the description. You can customize the URL for the module here. You'll see that by default, it has populated whatever I have written in here for module name, but I may not want that in the URL. For example, if my module name is quite long, I might want to abbreviate it in some form. So that can be different if you like. You can award bonus points for the completion of a whole module, if you like. We've got them now set up to 0. We did in the past have by default have each module completion set at 10 XP. So if you want to give your students a surprise bonus when they complete a module, you can set that here. We do have an article in the Help Centre about the difference between XP points and XXP points. So do dig into that if you're curious. It's just a different way of rewarding students in, for example, if you want to have 2 different content tracks and different ways to distinguish who's like the progress within those tracks. Save changes, and you'll see that I have 1 module there. Now, there's 2 different ways to go about putting in your content. You can set up all the modules first, if you prefer. Oops. Module 2. Oh, I'm in all caps lock. You can set up all the modules and they will just stack one after the other like that. In your account, module 1, module 2, module 3, and then you can go into each module and then add the trainings which nest underneath. Or if you prefer, you can go module 1, do all the trainings, then go to the next module, then do all the trainings. However you best work. I'm not suggesting that you call things module 1 and module 2, but just for the purposes of this, I'm just using a very simple name. Okay, well, oh, actually, I'll go back because I just did that too quickly. So we're in a module and I've added a training. And across the top here in the training menus, we have basic info, media, release timing, points, and downloads. In basic info, it's pretty much a repetition of what we just did with the module. There's a name, there's an opportunity to load an image if you don't like the one that we've put in there, a training blurb, which is text that appears directly under the title on the training page, which I'll show you in a minute. Oh, I did promise to show you an order form, didn't I? I'll go back and do that. You can customize the training URL again here. You'll see that it has pre-populated whatever I've written in training name, but it doesn't necessarily have to match what you've got in there. And you've got the option of putting in some training notes, and that's text that will appear directly below the video. If you've got, some people like to give a text summary of the main points of the video, or you might have some sort of further instructions that you would like to put in there. It's a completely optional text field. Both of those are completely optional. Media is where we upload our video. Now, Xperiencify is a video training platform, so video course platform. So if you don't have video trainings, we recommend that you do, even if they're very short. But if you don't, for some reason, you can leave it as the training thumbnail that will show, you know, if for some reason you have a training that you don't want to put a video in. If you do, you can upload a video file from your computer in MP4 or MOV format. Alternatively, if you have an account with Vimeo or Wistia or videos on YouTube that you want to embed into your course on Xperiencify, you can add the link to those videos there. And that will mean that they are still hosted on Vimeo or Wistia or YouTube, and we are just pulling them in from that platform. But you certainly have the option for Xperiencify to host your video and to upload them from your computer and put them in there. We have got a maximum file size, each file of 2 GB, which is enormous, so don't panic. And there is a link here to a free compression tool, which you can use to compress the size of your videos. so that they are quicker to load if they happen to be very long. Okay, release timing. We have several options to deliver trainings to your students. By default, every training is set to draft while you're working on it. You actually need to set it to one of these other modes in order for a student to be able to see it, a student who is already signed up in your course to actually see it. If it's in draft mode, you as the administrator are the only person that can see it. Most courses, most traditional course delivery platforms have everything available at once, which if it's a long course can seem pretty overwhelming, and you do have the option to release things on a drip basis, so on a schedule where you schedule out when the trainings will be available, and you can then set automations so that emails go out or text messages go out to your students to notify them that they've got a new exciting piece of content that they can access. You can choose a specific date on the calendar and a specific time in US Pacific, or after a certain number of days. So if your course is set up to an evergreen mode of delivery where students can join at any time, you may want to choose, say, 2 days after they first join, and then 3 days, or every week, for example. So you would put in how many days after they've joined that you want that particular training to be released to them. If you want to choose a mode of delivery where, say, every Monday trainings are released, or every Wednesday, you can use this option, nth day of a specific week. So you could say on the first Monday after they join, this training will be released. This is a new thing that's just been added this week, where we've actually got the option to add some days on after this, which means that no matter which day a student joins, which day of the week a student joins your course, you can release trainings on multiple different parts of the week. So I know it sounds a little bit confusing and I'm not particularly articulate at this time of morning. The Help Center article does explain this really well. So for example, if you wanted to deliver trainings every Monday and every Thursday in the week, what you would do is set it to the first Monday, and then the next training after that, you would say the first Monday plus 3 days. Okay, and that would in effect be every Thursday. The difficulty with setting it to the first Monday and then the first Thursday is that if a student joins on, say, a Wednesday, then they're actually getting the second training before they get the first training. Okay, so that's the reason that we have set this this up in this way. So do go to the Help Center article if my explanation of that is confusing the heck out of you. But it is a pretty advanced, content release strategy. So you don't need to do that at all. You can just say immediately on a particular date or after a certain number of days when the student has signed up. The points section is where we add our action steps. And one of the best features of Xperiencify is that we really want to get our students into this learning, implementation, and reward cycle so that they really feel progress and they are enjoying what they're doing and are motivated to keep going to the next training. So by default, every training has 2 action steps set up for you, pre-populated. You can completely delete those if you don't want them. To delete, you go to the little 3 buttons, 3 dots here, and click on delete, and that will make it disappear. And you can also add more by going to the green plus add button here. I'll just walk you through what they are. So, for example, just consuming the content. Generally, people will have video trainings. So we've named our action as watched video. The type of action it is just a simple checkbox. So it's something that the student does and they check off the box and they get the reward. You do have 3 different types of actions to choose from here though. So there's simple checkbox, there's essay response and multiple choice. With essay response, it doesn't mean that you're asking your student to do a whole essay. All it means is that it's like a free text response, and it can be as little as 1 word answer if you like. You can set, I'll just choose this for now, essay response to demonstrate. You can set a minimum number of response words here so that if you want a really detailed answer and the student only puts in 1 or 2 words, it will pop up a little error response, which you can customize, saying, please type at least 50 words. Okay, but you can set that to, you can set it to 1 and then have no error, or you can have set it to 5 words and say, please type at least 5 words, or please elaborate a little further, or something, whatever verbiage you would like to use for your students. And you have an opportunity here to actually describe the precise action that you want them to take. You have an opportunity to put in an action image. You can also actually upload GIFs, which is really fun. So do explore that option if you've got students who appreciate a bit of laughter in their day. You can customize everything in here, the checkbox label. Some people don't love the term done it. If you would like prefer submitted or achieved or something like that, you can customize it to however you want. You can also put an emoji in there. Here is where you set the number of points for this particular action. Now, I recommend, and we do go into this in Xperiencify 202 about gamification, you can mix up the number of points that you give and actually set different sound effects to fire according to the number of points that are given. So it really mixes up and provides that randomness that people seem to really like. You can also set a tag. This is a more advanced strategy, but you have the option to add a tag to a student based on them completing this action, which can then trigger other automations later on, which I go into a little bit in Xperiencify 202, another training that we have. If you choose multiple choice, you can add as many or only 2 possible answers if you prefer. If you want more than the 3 that are filled in by default, you could just click on the green plus button here and keep adding more responses. We did have, I think, I'm not sure if it's set up yet. Oh, yes. Okay, so this is live now. This is a new feature where you can actually have no correct answer. Previously, we did make you choose a correct response that would then, if the student didn't choose the correct one, there would be an error message that would come up and tell them that they didn't get it right, and that you could then give them an opportunity to have another attempt. But at the moment now, we have the option where you can deselect it. So there's actually no correct response here, which means that using these action steps for surveys or things where you're actually asking the student's opinion is possible, okay? Because in a survey, it's not like there's an actual correct response. You're asking them to provide their feedback. So this is a great new feature here. If you have too many possibilities, you can just delete them by clicking on the little trash icon. Okay, and so the little arrow here is where you collapse and expand each action step so that you can select all of the options for that action step that you want. And you can, if you have like kind of a mini quiz where you have you want to duplicate particular actions when you've got all of the settings, how you want them, you can click on the little 3 dots and click on duplicate, and that will copy the action step that you have with all of the settings that you've used previously. Next is downloads. And this is where if you have any worksheets or an audio file or a transcript or a PowerPoint presentation or the slides from your video, anything like that, any collateral material that you would like to offer your students, you can upload it here by clicking on the Add Plus button. Upload your resource from your computer, and then you can name it however you want, like worksheet or audio file or transcript, whatever it is, and that will then appear underneath the training video for your students to download. I haven't put a name in there yet. Oh, I better just delete that bit. Oh, actually, no, I will add something because I want to show you what it looks like. Worksheet. Then I'm going to have to try and find something. I'm just going to put in a, that's obviously not a worksheet, but for the purposes of this, and then I'm going to save it and close. Okay, so what I've got now is I've got one module and one training complete. And you would just then go and repeat that process for all the modules and trainings that you have. As I said before, you only need one module if you've got a very short course or if you're doing a challenge or something like that. You don't need to have multiple, but this is a good way to separate your content out by topic or theme so that it's easier for your students to understand the process that they're going through. And you can also have different settings, reward them with extra points for completing a particular module, etc. Okay, I'm going to go back and show you what the order form, actually, no, maybe I'll show you the order form when I do step 4. Okay, so we've just done step 3. So you just kind of rinse and repeat all of that. And I'm going to mark that complete. And I'm going to collapse that so it's not so overwhelming to look at. And then I'm going to step 4. Now, this is what I mentioned before where we go into the page builder. So this can be kind of like feeling like you're going into another dimension for some people. So I want to spend a little bit of time on this. But I just want to say that step 5 is where we add the secret sauce, which is where we're going to have celebrations and the experience engine, which is our name for automations. And in step 6, it's very quick. That's just where we have links that you can give to people to promote your course, to give to if you've got people working for you, building out other sales pages or websites or things like that. That's where you would get all of your links. And in course settings, that's where you access sound effects. That's where you can put in advanced things like CSS and HTML code, and where you can customize the labels that are used in Xperiencify. If you don't want to use, for example, XPs for your points name, you can call it whatever you like there, and change all of the labels that are used there, particularly if you're not using English. That's very handy. But we do have an automatic translation feature that is going to be released very soon, which means that it's going to be super easy to put your course into a different language. Okay, I'm going to go back to step 4, and we often call this step the page builder. Okay, if you hear us calling it the page builder, what we mean is step 4, and this is where we are customizing the templates that Xperiencify uses to present your content to your students. Okay, this is kind of like building a website. Now, there's lots of different pages in here, and this is new, the way they're presenting this now, where we've got like a little preview, a little visual representation of all the pages. Previous, like a few weeks ago, it was just a button that said go to the page builder. So for those of you who haven't been into your admin panel for a while, this is a new feature. So it does look like there's quite a few here, and I'm going to tell you just the most important ones because this is a basic setups training. The ones you need to actually concern yourself with are the homepage, because that's the page where as soon as people buy your course, that's where it opens up with your welcome. Okay. you would like to customize the single training page, because that is where your trainings are delivered, and you want to make sure that everything's set up correctly on that. So at home page, single training, and the order form. Okay, they're the three I'm going to deal with today in this training. You can, if you want to delve into all of the other ones, there are, you can either watch, actually in the Help Center, there are articles on all of these ones, okay? So hop in there if you're curious, but it pretty much follows the same kind of format. Once you get the concept, you'll understand. Okay, so home page, I'm just going to click on that and edit the home page. Now, with all of these templates, we have them set up so that every component is there for you already. You just need to customize it how you want to. However, if you want to do things radically different, everything's in a block that can be deleted and swapped out for other versions or something completely different, whatever suits you, your needs, okay? So when I'm dragging my mouse over the components in this page, you'll see that there are a green outline, and that designates that that's a block, okay? And each block has some little controls along here. It's got a scroll to different versions of that same block, a different presentation of it. There's a button so that you can save what you have done to the library, to the block library, which means that you can then reuse that on other page templates within your course. I'm going to move that out of the way. There is an edit content button, which is where you actually customize the text that's in here. There's an up and down arrows, which means it will move the block within the space on the page, put it in a different order. You can make a direct copy of this particular block once you have it as you wish. And there's a trash icon, so you can delete it if you don't want that icon. Okay, so they pretty much have all the same. Oh, and some of them have, for the complex ones, have an edit layout button, which actually means that you can change the components within that block, like the layout components, how wide the text goes across the screen and what components are within that. You'll see here that in this block, you've got some text here, another, like a headline here, then you've got some more text, then you've got a video. And I know for a fact that there's actually another part under here, but this is where you would change it in the edit layout section. There's one column. You can choose how many columns the content goes across your screen. You can choose all of the components, as I said, body text, and you'll see that as I'm on that, there is a box around the component that it is. That's a spacer, that's a headline, that's another spacer, then there's some body text, there's a spacer, and then there's a video. Okay, if you don't want any of those components, you can actually click on trash, you can duplicate them, you can go into the settings and configure how the text is aligned within that block. All of those things are quite advanced and you don't need to touch them at all, so don't worry. But I just wanted to show you what that edit layout button does. What you are most concerned with is just the edit content, where you're going to actually customize, for example, so that doesn't just say add your course welcome message here, so that actually says welcome to my course. Okay. All right, so the top block here is a navigation header, and you can, once you've got all of the links that you want across the top, you can save that to the library, and then you can use that across other pages in your course, how you want it to be. Okay. So do remember about that save to library feature, because it can save you a little bit of time once you've got the formatting how you like, with all the colors and the links in the way that you want. We have got there just by default, home, all trainings, and my courses. And you don't need any other links there unless you want to particularly put any links in there. So don't worry about that. There is a little notification bell where You get notified if there are new messages in the forum. There's a little profile picture icon where you can control your account, and there's a logout button. Okay, so I'm going to go into edit content for that homepage header, and you'll see that you can control whether you put search field on or not. Over here, you'll see that that search field has appeared. If I don't want the search field, I just toggle it off. If you don't want the student to be able to access their profile from that page, you can click it off, okay, and it disappears. Here is where you can upload your logo, and it will appear on the left-hand side. You just go to browse and upload it from your computer there. You don't need a logo. This one has just got it blank. And this is where you'll customize the navigation links. These are the ones here that are shown by default: home, all trainings, and my courses. You can change what the text says, dashboard, for example, and then you choose where that link actually goes to, and you can choose whether everyone sees that link or only people with a tag or people without a tag. This is really handy if you've got extra bonus content that is only going to show to people who have a certain tag or have paid for a certain offer in your suite of offers. You can only show those links, those navigation links, to those people if you prefer. Okay, there's lots of options there. You can choose all the colors. You can choose the padding and formatting options, the background color. You can change it to whatever suits your brand. And as I said before, make sure when you close and save that you then click Save to Library if you would like to use that header on other page templates. And the way you would access those is go to your saved blocks down here and drag them in to the page template. I already happen to have a few in there. Yours will be blank until you add things to your library. The next block we have is the countdown timer. Now, we recommend that you do have a countdown timer because even if nothing happens at the end of the countdown timer, you can use it as a procrastination buster to help motivate your students. You can, though, set it up if you like, so that something happens when the countdown timer gets to 0. For example, that the content disappears, that they lose access. Okay, but you don't have to have it like that. The way you would change that is in edit content, and you go into column 1 because there's only one column in this block. You go to countdown and you can change what the text says. You can change the color of the text. You can change the labels that are on days, hours, minutes, and seconds. You can change the plate color of the countdown timer, and to actually set when it goes to 0, you choose between live or evergreen mode. Live is when everyone's moving through the course together, and it starts on a particular date on the calendar and it ends on a particular date. Okay, so if I've got live, I'm counting down to January 31st at 8 o'clock PT. And that's when if I set save, you'll see that my countdown timer has changed now to only give, it's like 5 days, basically. It's got 4 days and 23 hours, etc. Okay. If you want to set it to evergreen, which means that students can join anytime they want, and they move through the content at their own pace, you may want to count down for 7 days, for example, or 2 months. Whatever it is there, click on Save the Settings, and then each time a new person joins, they will have those 60 days or 2 months to complete the course before that goes to 0. Okay. Close and save, always. Close and save, close and save, close and save. You'll be hearing that in your head. Danielle says close and save. Okay. The next block is the main part of the homepage, which is where you have your welcome message. You're going to edit content, column 1. The headline is the portion, and you could say, oops, welcome, caps lock. Welcome to, and this is where I'm going to put in the merge field, or what we call tokens, where it's going to have my course name, and that will be the course name that I've set up in step 1 of this process. And the way I access that menu is to use the / key. I just hit that and up comes a formatting menu. Wherever I'm entering text in Xperiencify, if I hit /, I'm going to get a menu which varies depending on which field you're editing, but there is all sorts of options there, and I have the option to put a token in, and I can choose from first name. So I can say, welcome, John. Welcome to course name. First name. Okay, and that will actually populate with the student who's logged in, their first name and the particular course that they're in. Okay, so you can personalize it however you like there. Because I've just noticed that it says congrats first name up there. I'm not going to use their first name again. So that's, and I can change the color of that to whatever I like that's fits in with my branding. I can change, this is where I change the thumbnail for this image on the welcome video, and this is where I upload. We've just got a default image and a default little video in there for now so that you can see it, but you would actually remove that and put in your own welcome video. You can change the size of the little play button on the video, and you can change the color of the play button as well to match your brand, if you like. And you can see that you can also kind of replicate dark mode, if you like, by putting the background as black and then changing the text to make sure that everything is visible on whatever color background you've put in. Okay, some people like dark mode. Okay, and then what am I going to do? Close and save. All right, so we're working our way through the welcome, the homepage here. The block underneath the video we have, and we suggest you set up goals. There's an article in the Help Center about what goals are and how to figure out the best kinds of ones to put in for your student. A handy feature is that you can actually, any action step that you put on this homepage or any custom page, any standalone page, is that you can make it disappear once the student ticks them off. So once they've achieved it, they don't need to look at it every time. And I find that that's really good, in particular for what we call the pre-actions. And the pre-actions are things that administrative type quick tasks that you want the student to do in order to get ready for the actual course content. And you can set these so that they will disappear if you want. You can leave them there if you prefer that. The way you get into that is go to edit content in this pre-action block, and you can obviously customize all of this text. I here have 3 action steps, which I can expand by clicking on these little arrows, and then it takes me inside that action step. And after all of those, there's a way to click little icons there to add in. You'll see that that icon has just appeared there. You can change the number of points that you give it. You can set a celebration to go off once they have checked that box. You can add a tag. You can change when the action is completable. So, for example, in the goals, you don't want them to be able to check off the goals straight away. You are merely demonstrating the sorts of milestones that they are aiming for within the course. And I usually set my goals to a certain number of days after the student joins, or a specific amount of points that they need to have achieved, which means they've made their way through the course to a certain point before they are allowed to check off that goal and receive the reward associated with that, which is usually a lot more points than the ordinary. Like sometimes we do 10, 20 and 30 points for the goals, but you can choose whatever you like. So I think it's a good way to control their urge to check things off. And here is where you hide it from a student once it's completed, or keep it visible. Okay, by default, it disappears on the home page, but you can set it to remain visible if you prefer. Okay, and so I've got three goals there. I expand each goal like that and change and complete the setup for each one like that, and then I can collapse them when I'm done. And then there's some further formatting options there for the rest of that block. Close and save. And then this is where we show them just the very next step. So unlike a lot of course platforms where they give you the entire wall of trainings that they have ahead of them and they say you're at 0% complete, which to me feels really demotivating. And then I said that there's 83 things that I have to get through in order to get the outcome that I want. We show just the very next training, and this will change according to where the student is at their progress each time that they log in. Okay, so you can set up that so that this home page has the welcome, that these pre-actions can disappear once they have checked them off, and then all they see is the very next step that they have in their course progression. And then we just have the footer where you can customize that how you want, save it to your library, and then reuse it on the other page templates. So that's the home page. The other two templates that I mentioned were really important to set up in the beginning, a single training and order form. So I'll just go into single training and show you. This has a warning that says that this is a template page and it's going to be populated with all of the content that you have actually filled in step 3 of your course. Okay, so there's no video that shows here because it's actually going to populate with the video for that particular training. There's no module name, module training name, or training description because it's going to populate from step 3 according to which particular training it is. But you can see where all the components show up. There's module name, training description, and these correlate to, I'll move my menu out of the way. When we go back to step 3 in training, this is where the training name, the training blurb, the training notes, that's where you're putting all of those things in, okay? This is where any downloads that you have uploaded into step 3 in that particular training will appear, and you can change the formatting and the color of this by clicking on edit content. This is where the action steps will populate according to what you've put in step 3 under the points section. Okay, so I've got in this particular training, I've got 3 action steps. So when I go to show you the preview of training 1 of module 1, I'm going to see that there are actually 3 action steps there. And then it will show you the very next training. Okay, so I'll go to preview and show you what this looks like. Of course, you can change all of the colors and the font and everything like that so that it matches your branding. I don't actually have, oh yes I do. So we've got a navigation header, we've got all of those text fields there that we've filled in, which I haven't actually, that's the error I made. I didn't actually fill in this info here. I've got this is a train, oops, verb, notes. Okay. Oh, what's happened? Something's gone wrong there. Oh, so hang on. Sorry, I'm showing you the preview of the wrong thing. Ah, Danielle, silly girl. All right, I'm going to this one, preview link. What I was saying was a preview of the template, not a preview of the actual training 1 of module 1. Okay, so this is module 1, training 1, and it will populate with whatever text you put in there. I happen to be really uncreative and put module 1 and training 1. This is a training blurb. The thumbnail image that you enter sits on top of the video. When I haven't actually uploaded a video, but you will see a play button there. When you click the play button, the video will play. This is the notes that you can optionally put in if you want. I've uploaded a worksheet. So when I click on that, it will download to my computer. And here I've got 3 action steps, as I showed you in the step 3. Okay. So that's a single training template. Back to the page list. And now I'm going to show you the order form. Okay, and this is just a very functional order form. You can create a sales page, which is actually a very pretty thing with a lot of description where you can, a lot of marketing, and you can put in all of the details of your course. Then what you want them to do is actually put in their details and pay. Okay, so that's the function of this page. You can change all of the colors, etc. You can change the words and what it says. And this is where it will populate with your payment options that you've put in. You do enter some terms and conditions. You do need to have some terms and conditions, but it can be very simple. I've just clicked the edit content button, and I'm going to show you inside how we edit the order form page. You have the ability also, by the way, to turn off the order form. So if you've already put out in your social media, the link to your order form so people can buy, and then say, for example, you want a closed cart and you don't want anyone to be able to sign up, you want to keep that scarcity so that, for example, if you only launch a couple of times a year, you can actually turn it off so that even though the link is out in the world, people can't continue to sign up if you choose. So that's how you would change it in block visibility. We have a left-hand column, which is the things in here, including the title at the top, and the right-hand column data is the stuff on the right-hand side. You have got an opportunity to also put in tracking and analytics. If you've got a Facebook pixel or Google Analytics that you want to put in there, that's where you put that. If you don't, forget I said anything, you don't need it. Okay, so in left column and right column, I'm going to click that. That's where I would change all of those options. And here you will see the one payment option that I only had at step 2. I think if I go to step 2, you will see here I had a single payment option and I didn't have any installment plans. So what I see in my order form is only one option there. Okay, and it reminds you that go to step 2 to set what these options are. This is where you can actually change what the words say. If you wanted to say, VIP coaching, etc., you can change what the actual words say, but it will be billing for the amount that you've put in step 2. You can choose to show a coupon code or not. And this is where you would enter your terms and conditions. Now, they do need to click on this little radio button to say that they have agreed to the terms and conditions before they can hit the buy button. You have 2 options. There can be a pop-up where you actually copy and paste in the text that you want. And that can be something as simple as, I think Murray has in one of his little challenges. I guarantee that you'll love this, and I'll give you your money back no matter when you ask for it if you hate it, or something like that. Something very, very simple. Alternatively, you can go to a lawyer and get all of the legal jargon that you want to put in there, and you can copy and paste the entire, law book of terms and conditions for online courses if you prefer. And you can also, if you already have a website or somewhere where your terms and conditions are already hosted, you can put a link to that website here, and it will go, when they click on, if they want to see what the terms and conditions are, it will take them to that external link. Then they come back and check the box that they've agreed to it, and then they can buy. Okay, so you do need to put in some sort of terms and conditions, no matter what that is, but we can't give you legal advice because it depends on what you're selling and what jurisdiction you're in, all of that sort of cool stuff. So do seek advice on that if you are concerned. Okay, so that's what your order form looks like. It's very simple. As I did mention, close and save. I did mention that you can create custom sales pages. That's beyond the scope of this training in particular, but where you will do that is in the custom pages course sales page there, and then you would link the button to your order form. Okay, and you get the links, as I mentioned before, in step 6. Okay, I know we have missed step 5. I'm going to go back and do that right now. Okay, so step 6 is where you get all the links. This is the order form link you send to buyers. You can customize what that says, I think, can't you? Maybe not. No, you can't. So that pre-populates based on, I happen to have a custom domain that I've set up here. Yours will be like yourname.xperiencify.io/ the name of the course / order. Okay, so it's pre-populating based on the bits and pieces that you have already added in this course URL. Okay, so if you don't like the look of whatever it says, you can change that back there. Copy link, and that's what you would put in Facebook or wherever it is that you're selling, or adding it to a buy button on a sales page. Okay, the secret sauce. This is probably the funnest part of it. There is a little tutorial here that you can watch if you don't like the pace that I'm going at. We have 2 sections in secret sauce. There used to be 3 sections, but the sound effects has now moved down to course settings because they are a course setting. I don't know why they moved it, but anyway, it's down there. We've got celebrations and what we call the experience engine. That is kind of automations, things that happen in the background based on actions that are taken within the course. Okay, for first up, celebrations are full screen animations with sound effects and personalized text that you can use to help celebrate the action that your students take. We have a little video there. If you go to add a celebration, you'll see that there's a button here that says View Celebrations Gallery. We have a gallery of pre-built celebrations that you may like to use or to modify slightly to suit your own purposes so that you're not starting from scratch. However, you can certainly start from scratch, and I'll show you those. You can also click on the little heart button, and that will add them to your favorites if you want to reuse those in other courses. Okay. So I go into this in a lot more detail in Xperiencify 202. So I won't spend too much time on this. You can, if you're interested right now, you can, not right this second, but after this training, you can go to a replay of Xperiencify 202 if you can't wait until the next time I deliver it live. But just quickly, there are 4 components to a celebration. There's this central image, which is chosen down here, and we have a gallery of 6,500 pages. So times 9, 6,529 times 9. Who wants to do the math on that? To choose from that are already in there, and there's a search feature to search by topic or by the subject matter of the image, and you can favorite them for later. There is the large kind of background image. In this case, it's confetti, and then we have a sound effect, and then we have, which, by the way, you can upload custom sound effects, and I just learned that we can actually do custom animations as well. So if you're interested in that, I'll put the information in the Facebook group. I think Murray did reveal that to one of the questioners yesterday about how to get us to upload custom animations for you. If you know, the 6,500 odd times 9 options that we make available don't suit you, you can put your own in there. And you have the ability to customize the message here, where you can actually put in the token. Remember the / key? That allows you to put in a token there of the student's first name or the course name. So for example, if you wanted to say, great work, John, on completing goal 1 in whatever course name, you can do that using the token, okay? You can change the length of the that the celebration plays for. You can change whether it recycles, like whether it loops around, and the speed at which it loops around for the central image as well as the background image. So there's lots of ways you can customize that. And then you can also push the play button to run the celebration. And if it's how you like it, you save. You can name it whatever you want. I like to, for example, in the homepage where we were setting the goals, and I showed you that there's an option to run a celebration when they check off a goal. I come in and I set goal 1, goal 2, goal 3, create them, and then turn them on. There is a toggle here where you can turn them on or off. So don't be scared about creating lots of different ones. You do have the option to turn them off so that they will not actually fire. And you have the opportunity to add in a trigger for how does the Experience Engine know that you want this celebration to fire. And you can add more than one trigger. Okay, so that basically means that you can have a celebration fire multiple times for different things that happen if you like that celebration. Like if you're trying to build a habit or something like that, instead of creating over a 30-day period, instead of creating 30 different celebrations for the same thing that they keep doing every day, you can trigger it so that they fire based on the different actions that they take. So you'll see the list of triggers here. Their first login, last login, earned a certain number of points, completed a training, completed a module, or completed the entire course. Completed the entire course means that they have checked off all of the actions and achieved all of the points that are possible. You'd click on create, and it's going to tell me that I need to actually set how many points, create event, and that if I click on, that will then fire when the student has earned 5 XPs according to this trigger. If you've got a whole heap of celebrations that then stack up, I'm just going to save that one so that you can see they all stack up underneath each other here. You can see whether they're toggled on or off, and you can then preview. There's lots of cool animations. Like, honestly, you can have so much fun with this. It's really, really good. And then the second component in the secret sauce, step 5, is the Experience Engine. Now, it's pretty complex, and I do go into it further in Xperiencify 202. But basically, what we have by default is that a welcome email is sent out when a student joins your course. Okay, and you can add components here to this experience, and they will nest. You'll see that there's a slight difference in the alignment of this, because that's a component underneath that when I have expanded it like that. So you can have several different actions that happen once that experience is fired. You'll see there, I can actually turn on or off different components within that experience to select what I want to happen, okay? And I can change the trigger for that experience by going into the button that I pressed. What was it called? Change how this experience starts and stops. There we go. Okay, so I've got, I can name it something, and then I've got a starting trigger. If I want to choose a stopping trigger, I can. You can leave that completely blank if you don't know what that means. It doesn't matter. All you need is a starting trigger, and you can choose whether this experience is allowed to run only once or multiple times. And you can choose if it's going to fire for the students who join any time in the course or only at a particular time in the past, okay? There's more information on those options in the Help Center. I don't think I showed you how to get to the Help Center, did I? So in your Xperiencify course, on the left-hand side here, there's a little button that says Help Center. And you can also, if you're not in your account, you can just type into your browser howto.xperiencify.com, and you'll get to the help center where we have over 300 articles and screenshots and little videos of things that you can do to set up your course. So I know I've gone pretty quickly over that. As I said, if it was too fast, you can go back, watch the replay and pause me at particular points where you want to work further into that. I do have some time for some questions, which I think there's already some questions in the chat, but if you would like to unmute and raise your hand, raise your digital hand, I'm happy to take, I'm going to stop my share so I can see you all. Oh, what just happened there? Sorry. That was YouTube. Okay. All right, we have a couple of hands. Now, fear not, if I don't get to your question, I will post in the Facebook group and answer any questions that I don't get to. Okay, Naomi, hello.
I was muted, sorry. Yeah, I have a question. So for releasing a new training, can you set it so that the student have to complete the current training and the actions? How do you do that?
Oh, yes. So that is, you click the dynamic release toggle that is underneath that. So that will mean that you can only, it basically sets it to every single training will then be dynamically released or binge mode. Okay, so that it means that it basically disregards the schedule that you have set. If a student has completed the previous training, it will immediately release the next training to them. Okay, kind of in Netflix style.
Yeah. So that will happen when you check everything, every actions.
Yes, check every action in the previous training so that it's completed. Yeah. Action is what we determine a training to be completed by. Yes.
I have another question. Is it possible to make the course itself disabled after certain time, like a challenge or free workshop? Because like this is available for only 72 hours. And instead of just lying about it to scare the participants, can they?
Yes, you can remove access. Yes. So
how to do that?
So you would set up an automation in Experience Engine. I think they have an article and it's called Use It or Lose It, or Remove Student from Course. It's an automation where you say after a certain amount of time, whatever that time is for your challenge. So say 5 days after student joins, remove from course. And that means that their access disappears. So it's a very good idea to let them know and remind them throughout those 5 days that that's going to happen. And in the countdown timer, you have that and say, you know, your access disappears or the challenge finishes and it counts down to 0. So when it goes to 0 or 5 days after they join, the access will disappear and they will no longer be part of the course.
And they, can I set it so that they get like last call warning email or something?
Yes, you can set up an automation so that after a certain number of days, you can send out an email, say, this is your reminder, tomorrow everything disappears, or whatever time period you give them. Yeah.
Yeah. So in that the automation, the engine.
Yeah.
The smallest amount of trigger period is 1 day. Is it possible to make it like 1 hour or like 6 hours, like 12 hours of no action?
I don't think so. Yeah, I understand what you mean. I think what is coming is the ability to set the emails on a particular date and time. I don't think at this very moment we have that ability, but it's certainly coming very soon so that you would be able to send out an email on demand, like saying 12 hours, 2 hours left, that sort of thing in the very near future.
All right, thank you very much.
There is an article in the Help Center about creating challenges, so that could be helpful for you.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Monica, hello.
Hello. I think I'm getting in my head a little bit, and so I could just use your help for a moment. I had started playing around on the back end, adding the modules. I just did Experience Product Masterclass, and I'm doing the minimum viable product. So I have 10 live courses that I'm going to be, or live calls that I'm going to be doing. They're 5 modules. I had originally thought I would put those in the replays after each one was done. When I was playing then with adding in the modules section where it's the modules and then say, for example, 4 activities I wanted them to do, it says that I need to have videos with that, but I had them already listening to whatever that call had been, which was the replay. Do you get what I'm saying? I think that there's a way of doing this that it's just really easy that I'm not getting in my head right now.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of ways you could do it. So you could put everything set up. Like, so I hear that you're doing a minimum viable product that's basically going to be delivered live the first time. And then I think you're going to upload the replays, which will then become the course for future participants. Is that right? Yeah. Okay. So what you could do is set it up as if you have the course and a video, but you don't have the video yet until you have the live course. You can have the thumbnail image for the video being a slide that says, you know, training coming soon or whatever date when the training is coming. And when you have that video, you can then upload it so that it becomes core content for the course. Or you can put them into replays and set it so that it's only existing students have access to it. All future students will then have access to the main content, and you can move those recordings into the modules and training section when you have them. So
for me, yeah, it was more of the action steps because it's only going to be these people that are going to have access to this. Then I'm going to revamp everything.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And so it was more of where do I put the action steps that I want them to take? The homework, I'm not going to call it homework, but the homework actions of it, that's what I was talking about.
Are you saying that you can't add an action step into a replay?
Can I?
I don't know.
Oh, no, I didn't.
I'll find out.
Yeah, I was just wondering. Yeah.
Let me see. I don't know why I'm in YouTube. Okay. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So I'm going to step 3, add content, replays, add a replay. Set tag. No, you can't. Oh, replay actions. Here you go. Yeah. So you can set actions here. Give points. Okay. So you can set an action and you can add a resource in the replay section. Then what you need to do though is, because there's no way for a student to access the replays until you change the navigation header so that they have a link here to replays. So then what you would do is go into edit content. Instead of all trainings, you would add a link that says replays and set it to all replays. Close and save. And then they've got a way to access those. And then you would have to modify the template so that it's not going to trainings, because by default, this next thing here is going to the modules and trainings. That's where the feed is that it comes into. You would have to change that. And you would also have to go into set up the template for single replay and all replays so that that's how you want it to look. Okay. Because that's what you are now using instead of the modules and trainings. It's a lot easier, I think, to probably put them into modules and trainings, and then just for your thumbnail here, have an image that says, you know, the replay is coming after the date that it is, or, you know, make sure
Mhm.
you come, and then you can even have the action steps of with the Zoom link or however you're delivering that, and a reminder. You can send the reminders out based on the training and all of that sort of thing. So it would probably be a lot easier to use the modules and training section when you're delivering it that way.
Okay. And yeah, and I have like 7 people, so I can just tell them that, and that would be, yeah, that, okay. I wanted the easier way. And so I
Yeah.
like that, because my head
Yeah.
was getting like, where do I put the replays?
It's
Where do I
pretty
put-
advanced. It's pretty advanced, I think, to try and go to expect you to go and set up all of those templates to
Mhm.
only have the replays available. Yeah. So
Okay, so
put
just
them in the
set all the
module.
modules, all the actions for each thing, and then as soon as the replay is done, then I can upload it in there, and then
Upload
they've
it.
got the whole thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, you've made my day. Thank you so much.
All right, but keep us informed. If you're having any problems at all while you're doing it, just post in the Facebook group, and people will pop in and help you with it. Okay. We're
Awesome.
all here
Okay.
to support you.
Awesome. Okay, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Okay, Mel. Hello.
Hi, didn't realize I was up. Okay, great.
Oh.
All right. So my question is, so when we remove this, we're doing that challenge and lose it, you know, use it or lose it, and we're the students, but we also have them making a lot of comments and doing a lot of things like that. I mean, it removes all of that as well, right? I mean, is there a way to not, because we like their comments, and so for anyone else coming in, we want them to see those comments and things like that, even though those students, the other students have passed through. We,
I don't believe it removes the comments.
So far it has.
Oh, it has.
So it removes every trace of them, you know what I mean? And we kind of didn't really want, it even removes them from our roster, I think. So maybe there's a different way to set it up than we have it set up, or
you can suspend a student rather than remove them as well. There's 2 different options. So look up in the Help Center suspend.
Or suspend. Okay.
Yeah. That may mean that I think the definition of that is that it withdraws their access to the course, but they're still there, and you can then reinstate them if you choose. Like if, for example, you've got a membership and they're late on their payment, you might want to suspend them and then reinstate them once they've paid, that sort of thing. But check that.
Okay. All right. I have another question, is that the pop-up, putting a form into the course in like an action, the pop-up doesn't seem to scroll for us on any computer or whatever. I mean, I don't know if I could share my screen to just show you what I'm talking about really quick.
It sounds like yeah, you can. You might want to, yeah, you've got permission. This might be something you need to contact the tech support.
Okay, so are you saying?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, I can see your screen.
And we embed the form for the pop-up, and then I kind of also wanted to know if we could change the wording, because it just says click me to show the form, and we didn't see where we could change that to say something else. But and then here's the form, but there's no scroll, and there's a lot more down here, and we use these forms a lot.
Yeah. What format? Where is the form coming from?
We're using paper form.
Okay, you can't put a link in instead of embedding it?
We can, but since we use so many of them, we don't want them leaving the course, like it'll link somewhere else. And then they, we don't want them to leave, so we do use the link for some things.
Yeah.
In general, we didn't want them to just be leaving the course all the time.
Yeah.
Some of them are one question and things like that. It's part of it is we help them make a little journal, so they're not just having to handwrite or have a separate thing. They can type in answers to the questions, and then they can get the PDF of their journal. But
okay, I see. So I think that is certainly beyond the scope of the basic course setups. I think you need to contact support@Xperiencify.com so that they can actually get into the back end of your account, look at what's happening. I'm thinking that that text is somewhere in the metadata for the embed code, of what it displays on the screen there. They will be able to help you out there, Rachel and Susan. They're amazing. So definitely either click the little chat widget in the bottom right-hand corner of your account, or just email support@Xperiencify.com, and they'll help you out with that one.
All right. And I know you run out of time. I'm sorry. I just have one more question. I hope it's quick. I know we can be affiliates for you guys, but can our students be affiliates for us through Xperiencify?
Yes, I believe so. And you can track where a student comes from, which affiliate they come from in your account. It's a bit manual at the moment because it's just a basic setup. If you type into like we want to give them affiliate abilities for selling our course. Yes.
How do we set that up?
Yeah, so if you in Help Center, if you type in affiliate, there'll be an article there, and it tells you how that you can track that by, you can create an individual code that you then send to those affiliates. And when students join your course from that affiliate, is what I mean, you can then see where they've come from.
Right. It's the other way around. Like, so the people who are taking our course, want them to have a link to be able to give to their friends or you know, whatever.
So they join your course. Yeah.
Right. So,
yes.
Okay, I see you're saying. So it's where they
yes. So when they come in, when they're actually successful at getting their friend to join your course, you can see which affiliate to then pay or to reward in some way.
Article that has that, there's only one, at least by typing an affiliate, that's all I found. It doesn't say how to set up the link to give to them. And maybe that's where I'm missing.
Okay, there is definitely an article. Maybe the search is not working properly. What I will do is attempt to find it, and I'll put it in the Facebook group for you, because I know there's definitely an article on that, because you can customize the little URL by their name or something that's meaningful for you. And then in your student list, it will show who has, where they've come in from.
Yeah, I see that. I see that part, but the actual part of the link stuff. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay. Hello, Diane.
Hey, Danielle. Thanks so much, first of all, for your class today. Lots of neat stuff. I house my videos right now on Searchy for the reason of searching my transcript. Now, I saw that you guys have that little search feature now. Is that equivalent to Searchy? Will I not need Searchy anymore?
You don't need Searchy for searching within your course, and it comes up and it shows. I mean, if you type into the Help Center, it will give you greater detail about what the search function does, and that you can turn it on and off. And it also categorizes where that item has been found, like what sort of content, whether it's in a video or it's in text or it's in a comment, those sorts of things. So it depends what you're using it for, I guess. We also have got the translation feature coming very soon, and the transcript and the captioning is coming very soon as well.
So if I'm talking about a certain medication or something like that, they put it in the search, and it's in a video that I've talked about it.
Yeah.
It'll go straight to that part.
I believe so. I haven't used it myself for within a video. I believe. Okay, now I'm starting to doubt myself. I don't know. Maybe I'm not sure. Why don't I check in for you, and I'll answer in the Facebook group.
Hey, Danielle. Danielle.
Hello.
Hi, I just wanted to step in and say I also have searching, and it does. When you put in a keyword, it will go exactly to the space in the videos where that keyword was used, no matter.
Oh, I know it does in Searchy. I think the question was whether it does it in Xperiencify.
I wanted to replace Searchy with Xperiencify. Yeah, to see if it was possible.
Can I ask everyone to mute? They've got someone who is.
All right.
Okay.
Thank
there
you.
We go. Thank you. Okay, Diane, I'll investigate further and see what the scope of the search feature is. I know that there will be greater capacity for sure once we've got the transcript feature happening for the videos. It possibly won't pick up yet audio that has been said in a video if it's not also in, like, say, the video title or the text somewhere yet. Okay, but
All right,
we are
thanks.
improving things slowly. Okay. Lilu, I'm sorry if I've pronounced your name incorrectly.
No, you pronounce it perfectly well.
Hello.
Hi. I have a few questions. The first one is that my product has actually 6 lessons. And from what I understood from what you were saying, it means that I would have to create model 1 with 6 trainings, which would look a little bit weird because then you would be expecting to have model 2, model 3, and stuff like this. Am I clear?
I'm not understanding. So you're saying, no, please repeat.
The whole course that I have currently
is only 6.
I call it 6 lessons.
Yes.
But they are going to see 6 videos of an hour and something.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So if I would put them in, each one of them would be a model.
Mm-hmm.
Then from what I saw, there are certain elements that you can only define under trainings and not under the models.
You have to have, so within a module, every module has to have at least 1 training. So what it would be, if you want to set it up that way, is module 1 training 1, module 2 training 1, module 3 training 1, module 4 training 1. Okay, so you have to have a training within a module. It can't be an empty module. Okay.
Okay, and
so
then otherwise,
like that.
if
Or
I would put the 6 trainings under module 1,
mm-hmm.
it'd still be called module 1. It's like, or I could just invent.
You can call it whatever you name. You don't need to use the term module.
Okay, so maybe I could just call it in the name of the course, and then I can put under this the 6 trainings, and then it doesn't appear as if it is a gradual thing.
Yeah,
okay,
exactly.
Perfect.
The students won't know what the structure is unless you give them access to in the navigation header. Unless you give them access to all modules, it won't show them the nesting structure that you have used. Okay, they will just see 6 videos.
That's cool. Then I have a test in my course that is built from images, and it's all multiple choices. But I need to have images in there and long text and stuff like this. Can I implement that as well?
Yes. So the way, if you want to set up a test or a quiz in Xperiencify, it's just each question is an action step. And if it's multiple choice, you can use the multiple choice feature. You can insert images. So for example, you might say, you know, who is this a photo of? And you could put 3 different names and they have to choose, or whatever it is.
And then I would get there in order to get the correct answers, because they don't know when they answer if it's correct or no. Right now, I get somewhere I will be able to define what is the correct answer so that I know how many good points they got.
Yes, so you can, for a multiple choice action step, you can set what the correct answer is, and it will only award points if they get the answer correct. Okay, you can alternatively use a multiple choice action step without a correct answer, and you can use it as a survey or a feedback form if you want, but you can certainly set it so that there's a correct answer. There will be a pop-up text that says incorrect or whatever words you want to use. Try again, not quite, good try, anything like that. And you can set it so that they can reattempt if you want, or you can set it so that they can't reattempt. And you would know based on that action step whether they've got the points or not, if they're correct. You can also set tags based on that action step so that if a student has got a correct answer, you can tag them, and then other automations happen based on that.
Okay, but there is no way that I will know if they answered correct or not, and they will not know.
Yes, you can know. At the moment, it's a bit manual, but you can go into the student activity and you can see everything that they do and every answer and everything that they submit. A student can also see their own progress in the course by going into their account. It will show them every point, every action that they've done, every answer that they've submitted, every comment that they've made, all of that sort of stuff. So it's manual right now. What our intention is so that we can have things like tests or quizzes, for example, for certification purposes, where all of the answers get emailed to the instructor. They can also get emailed to the student so that they have a record of it. But right now it's a manual process where you just go into that particular student's activity and you can see what they did.
Okay, but they will see, and I will be. The thing is that they're supposed to pass the test with certain points, and they can take it again afterwards, but they're not supposed to know where did they answer wrongly, because in that way, you know, you have three answers.
Okay, well, in that case, you don't set a correct answer. You don't tell them what the correct answer is, and then you would just have to go in and mark it manually. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
We hope to bring lots more features to that functionality soon.
Okay. And then I think I had an important question, but now I can't remember. If I need to release, I have groups of people that are supposed to get courses in different times. So I actually cannot drip content because every group is getting to that content at a different time. And I have a few groups like this. So in a way, I remember that Moray, I think I'm pronouncing his name correctly, showed us that we can actually go to a student name and attach a course to the student. Instead of saying release the course to the student automatically, I could go to this group of students, like it's 15 people, and I could click for those 15 people. Now this course is going to be released to them.
Yes, you can do that. You do that in the student section. Yep. So this is
Okay.
a little bit beyond, this is more like an open office hours question. This is a bit beyond the basic course setups, but yes, you can do that. And you can also, you can drip release on an evergreen schedule, which means that no matter when a student joins, you can release content to them at the same space of periods, the same gap. I'm not explaining it very well, but you can certainly drip release on an evergreen schedule as well as on a live schedule. So you can do that. But if you go into students on the left-hand column in your account, students, it will come up with, you can filter based on anything, course, activity, tags, whatever. You'll find a list and you'll select the students that you want out of that list. And then there's a bulk actions in the top right where you can then add them to a course or send them an email or do other things like that. It's in the
Perfect. Okay. Very good.
Okay. I'm just going to take, you're welcome. It's going to take two more, the ones that have hands already raised, and then I'm going to have to shut it down for the day. I will get to any questions that I haven't answered in the chat in the Facebook group. So please join the Facebook group, Xperiencify Facebook group, if you haven't already, if you've got a question. Rashira, is that how I say your name?
May I just ask you to post the link to the Facebook group?
I can put that in there. Just a moment.
Also, Danielle, I'm sorry to butt in, but you said something about office hours. When are those? You said these are office hours questions. When?
Yeah, alternate weeks. So at the moment we've got live trainings. So today's a live training with a handout, and next Wednesday there will be open office hours where you come and you can ask any questions and I'll walk through. At the moment they're on alternate Wednesdays. So every week we've got a training and then an office hours training, office hours. You can always see the schedule in the help center as well under open office hours. And if you subscribe to the calendar, it will show you automatically which ones are office hours. And
that's great. Thank you so much. And where can we get the handout from today?
Okay. It's okay, I'm just going to pop the handout. Everyone. Okay, here's Copy. Paste. Okay, that's the handout. And then the Facebook group. Okay, it's just Xperiencify. If you search for it, or click that link and ask to join. Okay, I'm sorry, Ruchira.
Yes, it's Ruchira. So thank you for the training today. It's been mostly very clear, and you've been answering the questions. So my question is, suppose that I want to set up modules with a branching flow. Am I able to do that? So I'll give an example. I have the students come in and they come into module 1. And then from module 1, depending on some choice they make, they get module 2, 3, 4, or 5. And then maybe the ones who pick 4 or 5, they also have to do 6. And then they come together again at the end. Then at the end, they get all come together and do module 7. So there's this sort of flow diagram of different students going through the course. Is it possible to do that in Xperiencify?
Yes, it's possible. It's a little complicated. You would do it using tags at this stage.
Tags.
And I think there may be an article that's called Choose Your Own Adventure, or maybe
that sounds exactly like what I'm
Choose Your Own
thinking.
Adventure means that if they make a choice, you would have to set it up so that they get tagged based on an action that they take or they don't take, or an answer that they've given to a question. You would tag them, and then that would then release content to them based on that tag.
Okay, great.
Yeah. So if you
Awesome.
research tags in the help center, it will show you there. And if you have any difficulties, just ask in the Facebook group and we'll try and guide you through there. It sounds exciting.
Okay, so the things I should look for are tags and choose your own adventure.
Yeah, I have a feeling that there's a choose your own adventure. I've certainly heard Murray talk about choose your own adventure. If I'm misremembering that, maybe search in the Facebook group. I'll try and follow up with that as well. But definitely it would be based on an action that they take and then a tag, or you can manually or bulk tag students as well. So, but I would basically put a survey. You can put a button in on a page and say, do you want to choose this or this or this? And when they select that, it will assign a tag to them, and then it will release other things to them based on that tag.
Great. Awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. C#. Sounds very musical.
Drop the link again for the handout for today. I was over on Facebook, so I took a moment to find my way over to Zoom here.
Okay. There's the handout.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, is that all you needed?
Yep.
Okay, fantastic. All right, well, I am going to wrap it up for today.
Hello, Danielle.
Yes, hello. Oh,
I didn't
sorry.
ask me a question.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, C#. I'm sorry. I thought the person that was speaking was C#. Okay. My
No.
apologies. Go ahead.
No. Well,
Sorry.
that's okay. I asked this question, but I got confused when I looked up the answer. I used the example in your Xperiencify setup about the payment plan. If we use someone other than Stripe, and I have a payment link. I use Zapier, I believe is what you said I need to set up. Well, set that up. But when I look at the example, the image is just an example. It doesn't really say that's who's going to be doing my payment. So how do I integrate the link with the payment plan of I'm actually using GoDaddy payment.
Okay.
So how do I do that? It wasn't in the list of in Zapier. It wasn't in the list of companies.
Oh, okay. If it's not in an available list in Zapier, then you're going to probably need to use a webhook in order to do that. If that is a question that the tech support team can help you with, like Zapier integrations are a bit more advanced than for this setup. So please email support@xperiencify.com or click on the little green chat widget in the bottom right of your account and tell them what you're trying to do, that you're trying to use Zapier to get payments from GoDaddy payments into students' information from GoDaddy payments into Xperiencify. and they will assist you with that. But if there's no Zapier option, it means that that integration doesn't exist and that you'll need to use webhooks, which is another slightly more complex way. You can still use Zapier, but it's called webhooks by Zapier, and they can direct you where you can find the information for that.
Okay, and one last question. I think this will be quicker. When it comes to the what do you call that? What's that? They said you in that domain when you initially set up. Says you in your domain name is still in.
You want a custom domain?
I did a custom domain, but it's saying that I'm still in. I forgot what you all called it. And then to get out of that, it doesn't have to verify everybody's name. You have to do something else. So I wasn't quite sure what it was saying.
Okay, it is a little bit complex, the setting up the custom domain, and the team, the tech support team are again the ones who can go into your account, see what your settings are. They'll probably ask you for a screenshot of your DNS, I don't know, CNAME records, those sorts of things in order to determine whether you've got the right settings. Okay, they walk people through that all the time, but it's hard for me to walk you through it when I can't see what your settings are in the back end of your account. So definitely the tech support team.
All right, thanks a lot.
You're welcome. Okay, everybody, I'm going to wrap it up for today. If I haven't got to your question, please head to the Facebook group where this replay will be in the Help Center. It's also on YouTube. You can watch it again on Facebook and speed it up if you're on a desktop. And I will catch you next week for open office hours, which is time set aside, especially for any question that you've got about setting up your course in Xperiencify. So hope to see you then if you've got a question. Otherwise, we'll connect in the Facebook group. See you then.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye, everyone. Oh, please fill out the feedback form if you haven't already as well. Let me just grab that link again for you again. For those who are still here, I've probably lost everyone already. Here we go. That's the feedback form. I appreciate any comments you have about what we offer here and how we can better support you. Thanks all. Bye.